community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Welcome to the program Inside the Print Media. My name is K. Lyndon Toba, and we are here to bring you the program Inside the Print Media, where you get information pertaining to your country, Liberia, and as well as around the world. So it's actually good to be back here after the Easter Sunday. It's actually good to be. Yesterday was one of the cherishable moments to many Christians all around the world. The churches were packed. People had a lot of activities on yesterday. So it's good to be back here to bring you the regular program Inside the Print Media, where we inform you about all of the situations taking place in Liberia. So today we have 4 different newspapers in our possession. We have the Daily Observer newspaper, we have the Front Page African newspaper, we have the New Dawn newspaper. Lastly, we have the Hot Pepper newspaper. So keep sharing the live video as we inform you about what is taking place in our country, Liberia. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we fill you in directly from news of those headlines that were read to you, on those newspapers that were read to you.
Focal TV, bringing you innovation. Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal.
Hey, welcome back again, folks. Thank you for staying with us. Keep sharing the live video to encourage other people to get informed about what is taking place in Liberia. Let's go to the Daily Observer newspaper and read you the headlines as well as the content. Daily Observer newspaper says WACAT not interested in title, but the work. WACAT not interested in title, but the work. Calls on government officials to be effective, efficient on duty, commissioned a new batch of appointees. Let's go. We'll give you the headlines again. Waka not interested in title, but the work. Calls on government officials to be effective, efficient on duty. Commissions a new batch of appointees. President Joseph Yuma Bouakara said that he did not come to the presidency for the colorful trapping, the prestige, or mere title. He stressed that he is here with the commitment and conviction to build a good country that will serve the Liberian people. The president underscored his dedication to serving the Liberian people and building a prosperous nation while commissioning a new batch of government officials recently at the executive mansion. He emphasized that the importance of officials committed to the country's progress and encouraged a focus on fulfilling the government promises to provide opportunities, infrastructure, and a strong economy for the people. The president expressed satisfaction with the progress made by the government within the 2 months since taking office and highlighted the engagement with stakeholders to address critical issues such as energy accessibility. The commission officials represent various ministries and agencies, with the president affirming his confidence in their capabilities to support his vision for a better Liberia. He stressed the importance of officials aligning with the administration's agenda and fulfilling their obligations to the people. The president also expressed determination to ensure that the government operates effectively and prioritizes the country's best interests. The newly commissioned government officials include ministers, directors, and other key positions across different sectors. President Bouakara emphasized the importance of integrity, trustworthiness, and alignment with the government objective in his administration. The president conveyed pride in government's achievement thus far and reiterated his commitment to advancing the nation's development agenda. The recent ceremony was the second batch of officials that the Liberian leader has commissioned. President Bouakara on February 22nd commissioned his first batch of officials where he noted that the program was the culmination of the process of setting up the government, having identified individuals to play respective roles in the governance of the country. He noted that although he would still like to have full complement of heads of ministry, agency, and commissions for the event, he was delighted to commission some of the country's experienced and dedicated women and men to start full service for the citizen. When we officially took office, we informed the country and the world that the business as usual approach to government could be a relic of the past for his administration, and we mean it. This is why we expect nothing less than ministers, heads, and agency and advisors to be commissioned today and the others to follow later to execute the mandate of their respective offices and perform their duties efficiently, selflessly for public good. The cabinet minister, as the highest decision-making body of the government, must perform at the highest level, delivering on the government priorities to achieve the developmental agenda we have set for the next 6 years. We expect ministers and heads of agencies to demonstrate their capabilities and competencies in achieving our goals, including the execution of immediate interventions into the 100-day delivery plan. According to President Bouakara, as the government is composed of 3 branches, they could not follow the development road constructive without constructive interaction with other entities. Ambassador Bouakara continued saying that his government wants the court and the legislature to play a part in enhancing the quality of life for our population by collaborating completely with us. Meanwhile, the latest batch of officials of government commissioned by President Bouakara were the Ministers of Internal Affairs, Mr. Francis Salakea Yumali, Ministers of Information, Culture and Tourism, Mr. Jeremy Matipia, of Mines and Energy, Mr. Wilman Pay, Minister of Transport, Mr. Salif Rap Tala, Minister of Post and Telecommunication, Mr. Sekou M. Kurman, Minister of Labor, Councillor Kopol Crowd, Minister of State without Portfolio, Ministry of Mancapability, and Ministry of State without Portfolios, Special Services, Samuel Stikwa. Others commissions were Director General for General Services Agency, Mr. Galapai W. Kotiman, Director General for Civil Service Agency, Mr. Josiah F. Joka Jr., Director General for the Cabinet, Mr. Nathaniel Kwabo, Brigade General Division Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Director of Executive Protection Services, Mr. Sam Gay, Commissioner General of Immigration Service, Mr. Stephen J.H. Zago, Director of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Mr. Abraham Kurman, Monrovia City Mayor, Mr. John Sharrock, S. Yafa, Painesville City Corporation, Robert Bestman, Commissioner General for Liberia Revenue Authority, Mr. James W. Jala, Commissioner of Liberia Maritime, Councilor Neto Zaza Leg, Director General for Liberia Broadcasting, Mr. Eugene L. Vagon, Director of the Liberia Fire Service, Mr. Waswa G. Bafwa, Director of Legis, Mr. Richie F. Gafwan, Director of Liberia Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Julius D. Dennis, Managing Director of Liberia Water Sewer Corporation, Mr. Mohamed Ali, Director of Liberia Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Mrs. Marilyn T. Logan, Executive Director for National Disaster Agency, Mr. Ansu V.S. Dolly, and Chairman of the National Investment Commission, Mr. Jeff Bibo, Deputy Minister for Administration of State, Anthony Cornelio Kratopa, and Deputy Minister for International Cooperation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abraham Abakiyan, were the only Deputy Ministers commissioned. With this being said, this is how we move over to another headlines on the Daily Observer newspaper. IJG calls for full implementation of the TRC report. IJG calls for full implementation of the TRC report. Welcomes legislation action on war crimes code establishment, but wants executive to be more decisive in pursuit of justice. The International Justice Group and partners are urging President Joseph Newman Boakai to move forward with the full implementation of all of the recommendations of the TRC, especially the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Code without further delay. Having vowed to establish the War and Economic Crime Code and campaign on that commitment, President Boakai is under an obligation, moral, political, as a matter of justice and rule of law, to promote forward and establish the code, being the nation's earlier statements in the anti-corruption and the rule of law icon. He has been regarded for many years. It is nearly 15 years since the TRC presented its final report to the government of Liberia, and two successful prior administrations failed to make conscious effort to implement these recommendations or make any progress whatsoever. While past administrations have taken steps towards incorporating aspects of recommendation, there is a perceived need for a more explicit acknowledgement and dedication to the reconciliation, good governance, peace objective outlined in the TRC report. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration initiated both national visioning and decentralization program, while immediate past President George Manawia implemented a dual citizen law, whistleblower, and the decriminalization of free speech law, which are all parts of the TRC recommendations. These past leaders initiated three legal instruments, though without acknowledging that they were TRC recommendations and pursuing thereby the reconciliations, good governance, and peace objective inherent into those recommendations and their subsequent political actions. The IJG, in a statement joined by its executive director, Mr. Jerome Verdier, and the chairman for the partners, Mark Mullen, said Boakai needs to be candid and also honest with the Liberian people and the world who are waiting to see the end to the culture of impunity in Liberia. The legal framework, as outlined in Article 6, Section 48 of the TRC Act, places the honors of the head of state to report to the national legislature on the implementation of the TRC recommendation. Article 6, Section 8 of the TRC Act says the head of state shall report to the national legislature within 3 months of receipt of the report of the TRC and on a quarterly basis thereafter. as the implementation of the Commission's recommendation. All recommendations shall be implemented. Where the implementation of any recommendation has not been complied with, the legislature shall require the head of state to show cause for such non-compliance. Against this backdrop, the International Justice Group emphasized the significance of executive actions in advancing the establishment of war and economic crime code and noted the ongoing effort to drive forward this process through constructive engagement with the national leaders. Members of the House of Representatives recently passed work instrument and had it sent to the Senate for concurrence. The IJG described the lower house swift action as noteworthy, but added the executive action is the singular most important action that is needed to move the process forward. We reserve compliments for the Speaker of the House and members of the chambers for the resolution recently signed by that august body. Verdier and Mueller noted in their statement. Even with that momentous action by the House of Representatives, not much is known, if any, of the President's reaction or action thereafter. The International Justice Group noted in a statement that it has long, with international partners and other adopted measures to establish the establishment of the war and economic crime code process forward by presenting a draft law. An act to establish the Extraordinary Criminal Tribunal of the Republic of Liberia, commonly referred to as the War and Economic Crime Code, to President Bouakai and other top national leaders. The draft law was presented to His Excellency and the President and other members of the government, including the Speaker, the Vice President, and the President of the Liberian Senate, the President pro tempore, the Senate, and the Minister of Justice. The statement revealed. As the timeline for reporting to the National Legislature approaches, the IJG and its partners anticipate proactive steps from President Bouakai's administration in moving towards the full implementation of the TRC report, particularly in the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Code. While no significant action has been taken to date, the International Justice Group and partners expect that the President, in the first quarter of his administration ending March 22nd, 2024, will report to the National Legislature on efforts of his administration to fully implement the TRC report, or to be required by said National Legislature to do so in keeping with the law, the statement said. Meanwhile, the collective effort of all stakeholders are crucial in upholding justice, accountability, and the rule of law in Liberia, the International Justice Group and its partners said. With this being said, this is how we move over to Front Page Africa newspaper. Here is the headlines. An open letter to Peter Kwekwe mediation team on the PUL fracas. An open letter to Peter Kwekwe mediation team on the PUL fracas. Dear members of the Peter Kwekwe mediation team, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to you with a heavy heart, but also with a fervent hope for resolution and the restoration within our esteemed press union of Liberia. Firstly, I want to express my sincere gratitude for the efforts undertaken by the Peter Kwekwe mediation team to navigate the turbulent water of the PUL crisis that stemmed from 2022 elections. Your dedication to mediating this complex situation involving deeply rooted grievances and divergent perspectives has not gone unnoticed. I acknowledge the challenges faced by Team Julius and others and their concerns regarding the conduct of the election. However, it is disheartening to note that despite numerous attempts by PUL leadership to engage in dialogue and address these concerns, Team Julius opted to pursue legal action, leading to a prolonged stalemate that has deeply affected the integrity and functionality of our union. In the midst of this crisis, Daniel Nyankona's remarkable act of stepping aside from the presidency despite his belief in the legitimacy of his victory deserves commendation. His selfless decision was a pivotal moment that could have paved the way for reconciliation and the restoration of our press union dignity. It is with disappointment that I observe the lack of acknowledgement for Mr. Nyankona's sacrifice from the mediation team. His gesture significantly eased the path towards resolution, yet It appears to have it appeared to have been overlooked in the pursuit of closure. However, what I have observed is what appears to be a complete neglect of the mediation process by Mr. Kokwe and co since Daniel's resignation from the leadership of the union. Furthermore, I fail to comprehend the rationale behind Tim Julia's persistence in pursuing case in court. With Mr. Yankun's resignation, the opportunity of a fresh start and a fresh election process present itself. Continuing litigation only prolongs the anger and undermines the very purpose for which the legal action was initiated. In light of these circumstances, I implore the Peter Kokwe mediation team to intervene decisively. I urge you to use your influence to persuade Tim Julius to withdraw the case from court and engage in renewed mediation effort in at organizing a new transparent election for the PUL. Only through genuine dialogue, cooperation, and compromises can we hope to heal the divisions that have plagued our nations and restored its credibility. In closing, I appeal to your sense of duty and commitment to the principles of unity and journalistic integrity. The future of the President of Liberia hangs in the balance, and your intervention could take all of the differences in steering up towards a brighter and harmonized tomorrow. Thank you for your intervention to this matter, and I eagerly anticipate a positive response from your esteemed team. Yours sincerely, Lenan Dodu, editor of Front Page Africa. So let's go over to another headlines from the Front Page Africa newspaper. Kemball's begs intergovernmental task force to delay their removal from main streets. Kemball's, those are the boys who sell gas along the road. Kemball begs intergovernmental task force to delay their removal from main streets. The Kemball Association of Liberia on Saturday, March 30, 2024, presented a petition to the government of Liberia through Vice President Honorable Jeremiah Kuhn over the recent prohibition of combustible petroleum products in Jai. Gamboas are petty traders who sell diesel fuel and gasoline in mayonnaise jars on various street corners in Monrovia and its environs. The Intergovernmental Task Force issued a prohibition recently with the police carrying out raids to curb the illegal trade and clean the streets. The association president Bobby Grill in the petition requested the intervention of VP Kuhn over their evasion while appealing for more time to have them finally relocate from the streets. He further proposed the establishment of a mini mobile exchange both along the streets and other parts of Liberia for their use as part of strategy to address the issues of illegal trade and keep the city clean. In response, the Liberian vice president applauded the association for peacefully submitting a petition to the government through his office. He recognized the contribution of Kemball to the country's economy while assuring that their concerns could be reviewed by the government. Vice President Kuhn, according to a release, then admonished the group to remain peaceful as the government looked into their concerns. Vice President Kuhn maintained that the intent of Intergovernmental Task Force is not to go after Liberians who are struggling, but to ensure the safety of the environment and keep it clean for the citizen. With this being said, this is how we would love to entertain a short technical break. And before doing that, we will acknowledge those who are following our conversation. JKP Polyman say I'm following from Single 16th Street. Former Commissioner Stanley L. Wright say I'm following from New Georgia Township. Emmanuel B. Zoll, former chairman of Team Andy, say good morning. I'm watching from Battery Factory City. And Manjida Lincoln, good morning, Foca Online TV family. My name is Honorable Manjida Lincoln, the Masses leader, and I'm following you from my office as a national chairman for the Citizens in Action to Redeem. Your issues is fascinating and continue your great work, Lyndon. All right, thanks to all of you who are following the conversation. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you stories from the New Dawn newspaper and Hot Pepper newspaper.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Togba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Togba. My name is Perfina Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Thank you to those of you who are still following this conversation or this program. Let's go over to bring you a story from the New Dawn newspaper. Asset recovery faces court today. Assets recovery faces court today. That is what the New Dawn newspaper is reporting. Asset recovery faces court today. Asset recovery and property retrieval task force is expected to appear before Associate Justice Jusu D. Kaba today, April 1, 2024, based on its order halting the task force asset seizures operation. Gracious Rad, through its manager Francis T. Blamo petition the Supreme Court last week for a writ of prohibition against the asset recovery task force headed by Councillor Edwin Clark Mountain. Following the petition, the Justice in Chamber, Councillor Kabai, cited the task force and the rival party for a conference on Monday, 1 April 2024 at 11 a.m. in connection with the case. The communication ordering the task force to stay its asset seizure operation is addressed to Liberia Justice Ministers and Attorney General Councillor Oswald Twe. Justice Kabai also ordered the task force to release all vehicles seized and stay all seizures pending the conference outcome. The Gracious Ride vehicles were released over the weekends, setting the stage for a hearing today. President Joseph Newman Boakar's administration has been struggling to retrieve government assets from former officials who refuse to relinquish them while exiting public offices through its asset recovery and property retrieval task force. Last week, the task force seized a vehicle operated by former Liberian National Police Inspector General Patrick T. Sudu. The vehicle marked A610 540 was impounded in Single during the task force operation on Wednesday, 27 March 2024. However, it was released to Colonel Sudu through instruction from the task force of the General Services Agencies. Upon the seizure of Colonel Sudu's vehicle, reports said the authorities had deployed officers to escort him to his destination via the seized vehicle, but with a mandate that the officers assigned should ensure that the vehicle returned to remain under custody pending further notice. However, the former police chief claimed that he bought the vehicle from the government official assets management entity GSA at a depreciating cost. The White House administration has complained that some officials from the previous regime of the coalitions of democratic change led government looted their offices before leaving and even failed to turn over government vehicles. They allegedly imposed challenges to the new government regarding the availability of vehicles to aid government work. The asset recovery team has charged with retrieving vehicles and ensuring that the accusation of questionable wealth by former and current officials can be addressed legally. More development could unfold during this operation as public perception of corruption remains high against Liberian officials past and present. So let's go over again to recognize those people. Majida Lincoln say, I hope to share your platform with you to discuss some critical happenings within our communities, township, district, team, and the nation at large. Then man, Myanmar last born Sando said, I'm following from Bate Party. So good people always keep following Focal Online TV for more of this development. Let's go quickly over to the Hot Pepper newspaper and see what we have from the Hot Pepper newspaper. So while we are struggling to get the Hot Pepper newspaper development, let's take a short break. When we come back, probably we will have the Hot Pepper newspaper in our possession.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, K. Lyndon Toba. My name is Gregfina Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
All right, folks, we are unable to bring you the Hot Pepper newspaper. So let's go over to the Analyst newspaper. Let's go over to the Analyst. Don't rush with asset recovery. Representability urges asset recovery team. Don't rush with asset recovery. Representability urges asset recovery team. With the asset recovery declaration of President Joseph Yoman Boakai since Friday, February 2, 2024, viewed as one of the trading paths of vengeance. Although the Liberian Chief Executive constituted a government asset recovery and retrieval task force with the responsibility, among other duties, to identify, trace, and retrieve all assets of government in and out of Liberia. The task force has since been commissioned and has been working, but an influential legislator in the 55th legislature expressed dissatisfaction with their mode of operation. Nimba County District 7 Representative Musa Hassan Belete wrote on his Facebook page speaking against the conduct of the task force. Representative Belete wrote, "Don't rush with asset recovery," apparently noticing that the assets is managing how they are implementing the task force given them. Representative told the team to be meticulous in carrying out their work. He wrote telling them, "First establish the lost asset and publish it. ask those in possession to return it or face prosecution, and begin to search for the specific assets of the government that are lost. He is of the opinion that stopping without any tangible reason just to inquire of the validation of the property, especially vehicle, is nonsense. According to he, stop this nonsense or stop peaceful citizens and asking them to establish the ownership of the vehicle. The Nema County representative advised that the government must first establish the assets lost before it can start the search for them. Come on, fearless. You can come with your experience. Use it. Stop making a mockery of well-intentioned process, he said, adding to those with government assets, please return it. Stating to the former officials of the properties of government are not theirs, Ability wrote. It is not yours, shameless bunch. What a vicious cycle of mess after mess. Besides the position ability, others see the task of not making any sources of asset recovery within the history of successful government, causing huge expenditure to a very new regime. It can be recalled that President Bouakas on February 2, 2024 issued a directive that with immediate effect and without any delay and hesitation, former officials of government turn over assets of government in their possession. Based on the seriousness he attached the asset recovery and retrieval exercise, President Bouakas subsequently announced the constitution of government asset retrieval team charged with the responsibility, among others duties, to identify, trace, and retrieve all assets of government in and out of Liberia. The team has been focusing on investigating assets and other working with relevant agencies of government to prosecute those found criminally liable for commandeering public properties, as the president post premiered on the highest standard of commitment, integrity, and patriotism as hallmark of public service. But the mode of the team's operation has been causing apprehensions in many quarters, this time warranting the comments of the lawmaker as expressed in his Facebook page. With this being said, this is how we will climax on all of the news reading here for today. It has been a fascinating news presentation. Let's begin to acknowledge those who are following again. KPK Polyman, former commissioners Tenny L. Wright, Emmanuel B. Zold, Majida Lincoln, Mam Yamason. So Majida, you know how to get to me. You have my contact detail just in case you want to speak with me privately. You can contact me through my cell phone numbers, or better still, you reach out to me on Facebook. So thanks to all of you who have been closely following the conversation. Encourage other people to always follow our news presentation, because we bring you the best in terms of news presentation. Many thanks to all of you who have been following. Thanks to those of the people who are behind the backstage to coordinate the efficiency of this broadcast. My name is K. Lyndon Toba. This is how I choose to say bye-bye, stay safe, and let's go protect us all.